it's strange. Like Red Sonja seemed to like it popped up and then it just disappeared. You know what I mean? And then like now it popped up again, and now they're changing stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. I just hope Rodriguez has something to do with it because I dig almost everything Robert Rodriguez has done, barring the Spy Kids movies. Even though I had to see them with the kids at the Boys and Girls Club when I worked there, but I dig almost anything he does. His action is just.
I mean, if I was a kid, I'd be into Spy Kids. Like my nephew liked those movies.
Yeah, no, they're not badly done. You know what I mean? They're well done films. I just like. I like the serious stuff more.
3D before anybody else was doing 3D.
Yeah, true. He's always been ahead of the curve, so I want to see if he still will have something to do with the movie, and like if his involvement will change, you know, like the quality of the movie, or if his lack of involvement, if they kick him off the project, if the lack of involvement will change the quality of the film, because I think it would have been different if he had something to do with it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like whatever movie he works on, he's got creative control.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It'll probably be different.
Yeah.
And probably not for the better.
I know, right? I don't know. What'd you think? And this one I know I'm like super late. What'd you think of Green Lantern? I fucking hated the trailer. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. like, don't put out a trailer with unfinished CG in it. Like, that should just be a standard rule in movies.
Yeah.
For trailers, whatever.
Yeah.
Like they did it with the Hulk in the Super Bowl spot when you see him spinning that tank around. You could tell not all the textures were on him yet.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because he looks so out of place." But then when the movie came out, I felt he looked I felt it worked because all the other colors were like really chromatic and shit. But that suit, like that CG body on that head, it just looks like a floating head.
Yeah, I agree. I was just like, man. See, my thing is this. It's so simple. He's a guy in a green superhero costume. Hence the name, the Green Lantern. Is it that hard to make the guy wear a costume and then in post put all the crazy, fancy space alien technology tech that you want to put on it? Like, can't you do it that way? Like, have the physical guy in a suit with those details. The way it looks, like it looks like flesh almost, like musculature, you know, with the striations and everything. Then, in post, go and tweak what you need to tweak. Like, why is that so hard? Instead, they take...
Trying to come up with an excuse to break new ground in film.
Yeah, but it just looks stupid. They've been doing this kind of shit on Power Rangers, and it looks better on Power Rangers. Like, I don't know, man. It hurt my... when I first saw it, I was like, wow, seriously? Like, and then, like, it looks like they're going to do what they did in First Flight that I didn't like. First Flight was an awesome movie, don't get me wrong. But I didn't like how they tried to make Hal Jordan do shit that other Green Lanterns would do. Hal Jordan didn't have much of an imagination, which is why he always would make fucking baseball gloves and boxing gloves and baseballs and bats and chairs and shit like that. But then out of the blue, in one of the scenes, he had a gun. I'm like, what? Or wasn't there a scene? Did he make like a plane or something? No, one of them made a plane. I'm like, that's not how all of them think. A lot of them are more abstract. Jon Stewart is the technical one. That's what made him special amongst the entire corps. So in this one, it looks like they're going to make him do everything that everyone else does just because it would be cool to see it in live action.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's what the fans want to see anyway. They want to see the quote-unquote greatest Green Lantern.
Yeah, but the fucked up thing is that they miss what made him great. Like, I don't like Hal Jordan as a character by himself. I enjoy some of the stories where he's part of the cast because, I mean, shit, he's on the Justice League. And, like, when you see him work with the other characters, it's kind of cool because with his simple-ass imagination, he still comes up with shit that, like, he can use in a very like imaginative way. And that's what sets him apart from other characters, because they're telling you that the weapon is limited by the user's imagination, but that's it. But if you don't have much of an imagination, how do you utilize this almost limitless weapon? You know what I mean? You have to pick the right things to use in the right situations. And that's pretty much what he would do. And that's cool. Why is it that they have to try to like amp him up? What do they think? Like, they think the people who are going to watch this movie don't realize that that's not necessarily him? Like, or they don't realize that they don't know why they liked him in the first place, that they're going to have to add new things on to make him more likable. It doesn't. That's one of those things I hate that they keep doing.
They've done over time with the character in the comics.
Yeah, you're right. Because after
making jets and stuff like that, flying them, like, and stuff he didn't used to do.
Yeah.
So, like during like the war of
the Blackest.
like he was doing stuff that other probably for fan service, or maybe to show how he's progressed with his mastery over the ring.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it started to not set him apart from all the other ones, all the other Green Lanterns.
Yeah, it just makes him an amalgam, you know, and I don't like that. I don't know, because Green Lantern, period, I like Jon Stewart, and I like him mostly because he's black and we need more of him, but I like the fact that he was no nonsense and the fact that he had a technical mind. Even if he was a white guy and they gave him, he was the Green Lantern with the technical mind, I would think that shit's awesome. But I always hated the Green Lantern because he has the biggest MacGuffin of a fucking superhero power and everything. Like, oh, put the ring on and then just blank your mind and it'll fill your mind with all the shit you need to know. What the fuck? Then what's the point? To me, that always was lame. But, I mean, I guess...
But they had to learn. They still had to learn, though.
Yeah, there's things they had to learn. But it just seems like, you remember how I was telling you about the Dante and Blade versus Blade thing? How with Dante, he just automatically is badass and powerful enough that nothing hurts him. So, like, he knows that at the end of the day, he's going to kill whatever is coming at him. Are you trying to tell me that, coincidentally, the ring that teaches you about every other part of the universe doesn't teach you how to use it? Like, that's a big-ass hole in the concept of the Green Lantern's rings, period. Like, you got this magic ring that was created to like, work for someone that's worthy, that has a certain type of predisposition or whatever, you know? And then it's gonna teach you about the whole universe and all the different quadrants and all the different races and all the different planets and galaxies.
It's kind of like
not
when the situation presents itself for you to, like, you can use the ring to like be like, hey, ring, tell me about.
No. If that's if well, there's. I'll fix it. It's the known. It's the known stuff, because like even in the animated flick they showed you, and I remember in some of the old comics, like back when they had the whole Mosaic saga with Jon Stewart. They showed you that, like, it told him about, the ring tells you all at once, these are all the quadrants that the Green Lantern Corps has, like, jurisdiction over. And, like, these are the places that you go, these are the places you don't go. This race is at war with this race. And he said it fills your mind in an instant. And it's like overload if you don't focus. So like, in the animated film, Homeboy put his freaking hand into the giant battery, and it filled his mind with everything. But if you notice, he knew how to use the damn ring. Because it's not very hard. You think, and it does it. So, I always was wondering, like, the hard part is actually carrying out what you, whatever the mission is. I mean, you have the knowledge about stuff, and you have the knowledge about how you would use the ring, but I guess the hard part would be actually doing what you now know that you have to do. But that I always had a gripe with him because he seemed like his path to becoming the character was the least interesting, because all he had to do was put the ring on, and then it's like, hey, we'll just explain everything to you. Kind of like fucking Power Rangers or VR Troopers or something, you know? You put on the costume, and then it's like, hey, I can call a giant Megazord or whatever the individual things were. And then we can team up together and form a fake Voltron. And we can do this. And we got 5 other mecha things that we could combine, and then we can shoot the whatever it is we're fighting with everything that all these individual mechas have. And before this, I didn't even know this kind of shit existed. But today, I know that all this shit existed. That always bothered me. It always bothered me. I mean, I guess if you have no imagination, or if you have if you just dream in general, and if from doing comics, you obviously have some type of like a dreamer predisposition, then it's cool to some degree, because you got that portion where you wonder about stuff, and then you have this ring that will explain it to you. So I get that, I guess. But I always felt that that's what made him weak to me. It was like, Wonder Woman, even though she was made by the gods and Hippolyta, she still had to learn how to be that badass, Superman, he was given all these powers, then he had to make a choice on how he was going to use these powers, and then they start showing you how difficult it is to actually be the best example of everything that mankind can be based on your powers. You know what I mean? Like, Batman, he's got his one situation that scarred him so deeply, and he's trying to prevent others from having that same thing happen to them. And it's to the point where he's literally, realistically, he's killing himself in the process of trying to achieve this goal that he can't achieve by himself. He won't achieve it in his lifetime. One guy is not going to rid the world of crime without powers. Yeah. Shit, one guy with powers is not going to rid the world of crime. So, especially if you don't kill people. So, you know what I mean? It's you see these ideals, and it's damn, that's deep. And then you got the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan, I'm sorry. I have no imagination, but I like to fly. And I don't have fear. The old Hal Jordan actually was pretty dumb, in the sense that he didn't have fear because he didn't understand what and why he should be afraid. That was always the joke that all the other Justice Society and Justice League people would always make fun of, is the fact that he just seemed like he never knew when to quit. So he didn't know fear because he wasn't really smart, which kind of would be cool if that was the personality of the character, Because they can't all be 100% winners. They got to be some characters that are kind of, But anyway, whatever. Green Lantern, blah, blah, blah. Trailer sucks. The trailers.
Yeah, even the mask sucked, and the mask was actually on.
Yeah, man. I'm how do you fuck that up? It's a domino mask. It's simple. How do you screw that up? They screwed it up. Ugh. Trying to make it kind of like Kyle, and kind of what's his name? Hal. They got to stop stealing from everything and just take the characters based on what exists with that character. I mean, these guys have been around for what? Green Lantern's been around for at least 30 years. At least.
Yeah, long time.
That's a lot of comic books, considering that they get to 500 in a year or 400 in a year, something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. At least they used to, because they used to have bi-weekly, monthly, sometimes weekly. Yeah. So I don't know. Green Lantern movie's gonna blow.